indigenous people of the land around Fayette surely traveled here on foot.
Hey, speaking of being on foot, did you know that if you traveled from New York City to Fayette, it would take at least 50 days, traveling 8 hours a day at 3 miles per hour?
They built huge mounds of dirt in the shapes of animals and birds to honor their dead. This Native American culture was present in the Fayette area until around the time of Columbus's discovery of America in 1492. Unfortunately, most of these mounds were destroyed over time and are not visible in our county anymore. In more recent centuries, the Native American tribe called Iowa hunted and farmed in this beautiful land.
Hey, did you know that some say our state found its origin from the Sac word Kiowa, which literally translates as "this is the place"?
But in more recent history, our area was peopled by the Sac and Fox tribes, some of whom were displaced from their homeland in the Wisconsin and Illinois territories. These two tribes were more militant, warring over territory amongst themselves, and then with explorers as Europeans were moving westward across the country. So let's change perspectives for a bit and look at what was happening with the white man and how he ended up in Fayette, because there is no way we can talk about the history of this town without first talking about the history of our whole nation. In 1793, after the Revolutionary War, America had already pushed westward all the way to the Mississippi River. Yes. Then, in 1803, one of history's greatest land bargains took place in Paris, France, the Louisiana Purchase.
That's us! Oui, oui.
Bonjour, monsieur. I've been sent here by our president, Mr. Thomas Jefferson, to discuss your colonies in the New World.
Mais oui, we would like to offer you not just the area of New Orleans, but the entire territory called Louisiana. It's yours for only $15 million. Our country really needs the money.
Wow! 530 million acres for only $15 million? That's the deal of a century. We'll take it.
And so, the size of the United States doubled in a day. And as you see here, the land that became Iowa was included in this amazing transaction. But even 30 years after the Louisiana Purchase, our entire state was in undisputed possession of the Native Americans, who constantly disputed amongst themselves over their territories. In an effort to keep peace, the government of the United States negotiated treaties starting in 1825. The Sioux were staying Sac and Fox tribes were to stay in the south, and a neutral strip of country 40 miles wide divided them. This area, governed from Fort Atkinson, also included where Fayette would be. It was to remain a no-war zone, reserved only for Native Americans. But this no-war zone continued to contain a lot of warlike activity. Two white pioneers, named Chauncey Elson and William Grant, didn't care about those imaginary lines any more than the natives did.
Come on, Ryder!
You know, this is a right good place we should put a dam here on the street. Once we build the dam, we can build a mill. Then we wouldn't have to go all the way to Dubuque to mill our wheat.
Ain't this the place over by that tree with the Indians? Wasn't Wyman more from this area?
Well, the way I look at the tree, and repeats progress. And our mill represents progress. It provides us useful service.
When you put it that way, it sure does make sense.
I figure we can put a shack up right here for us to sleep in while we work.
Later, the Native Americans destroyed both the dam and the shack in protection of their own property rights. Both sides disregarded the treaty agreements, tensions increased, and blood was shed, while even more and more white explorers were moving into the area. In 1840, a man named Franklin Wilcox erected the first permanent log cabin just south of Fayette. The settlement that we know as Fayette was founded.
Hey, did you know that they named our town after the Revolutionary War hero from France, the Marquis de Lafayette?
The United States government established a road to bring supplies through the neutral lands from Dubuque to Fort Atkinson called the Mission Road. It ran past the Wilcox settlement and where we know Fayette to be along the Volga River. It is on this trail that the majority of early settlers traveled into northeast Iowa. And the most popular means of transportation from the 1840s to the 1890s was the prairie schooner, which we know as the covered wagon.
We see jackrabbits a-hoppin',
fields started springing up, as well as a hotel, a store, and a sawmill. In the early 1850s, a man named Robert Alexander and his wife, Elizabeth, were early settlers and raised a family of 3 sons and 7 daughters. He and his family were instrumental in laying out the boundaries of Fayette.
Ready? Shall we?
Oh, Robert, I can't tell you how concerned I am for our daughters who are growing up here where there are no decent schools.
What seems to be the problem?
The problem? They don't know the scriptures as they should. They're behind in their education and they lack the refinements of the lady and they're turning into tomboys.
Elizabeth, you're right. The closest college is over 80 miles away.
Oh, I wish we had a school here in Fayette.
I think you've come up with a wonderful idea. We should consider starting a school here in Northeast Iowa. This seems to be becoming a place of great importance, and more people are moving here. I've got money to invest. Let's do it.
And so were the humble beginnings of what was first called the Fayette Seminary, which was developed for a specific purpose of elevating the influence of the Bible and the principles of Christianity. Its name was changed in 1858 to Upper Iowa University, and already the student population was reported at 174 students. The original limestone building still remains in use, called Alexander Dickman Hall. Would you believe me if I told you that tuition each year was only $27? But even as the university was growing in Fayette, tension in the nation over slavery and secession of the southern states was escalating until the Civil War started in 1861.
Come on, guys. We get to be university students.
What's the news?
What's the news?
Okay. Let me read it to all. Listen up. The proclamation by President Lincoln called for 300,000 volunteers to the militia and to support the Union war effort.
What do you say, guys? I'm in. It's time to drop our books and fight our country battles. Me too. Yes, I'm definitely volunteering. Me too. I'm in.
Incredibly, almost all the men of Upper Iowa's student body signed up for the Union cause that fall, 101 men to be exact. And so, Company C was formed and commissioned at a special ceremony as the University Recruits 101, under the leadership of Captain William Warner.
Mrs. Soren and our fellow students, to whom we bid a prayerful farewell, we, the ladies of the university, proudly present this flag, which we have sewn as an expression of our patriotism and support.
And as we were asked, we have chosen one from these enlisted men to become the color bearer. We all agreed that the sergeant color bearer position should be held by
Henry James Grannis.
Take our flag, and as it floats over you, sometimes give it thought for those by whom it has been presented. Proudly, confidently, we commit it to your keeping, as you have been proud to live under it. If death may be your lot, may you die under its folds, and may God protect and prosper you as you defend your colors.
So, according to the actual diary of Henry Grannis, we see how he was protected throughout the entire Civil War.
We turn in early tonight because we march early tomorrow. This war puts the whole nation on the edge of its future, but also each one of us. None of us might outlast the next battle. So what that more of his light may shine in my heart.
And later,
Again, by providential protection, I have passed through the fiery ordeal unscathed, that, while others fell on all sides, truly the mercy of God is unbounded.
in battle after battle, it was said that Henry Bicknese, color bearer for Company C and the 12th Iowa Infantry, continued untouched by the enemy. And it is true that Henry Bicknese was the only flag bearer, Union or Confederate, to live throughout the entire Civil War unharmed.
With a heart overflowing with thankfulness, I sent up a silent prayer to him who hath so often shielded me through danger. I trust I always feel thus grateful for his mercies.
Yes, we'll rally round the flag, boys, we'll rally once again, shouting the battle cry of freedom. We will welcome from the hillsides, we'll gather from the plains, shouting the battle cry of freedom. The Union forever, hurrah, boys, hurrah! Down with the traitor, up with the star. Yes, we'll rally round the flag, boys, we'll rally once again, shouting the battle cry of freedom. We will welcome to our numbers the loyal, true, and brave, shouting the battle cry of freedom. And although they may be poor, not a man shall be a slave, shouting the battle cry of freedom. The Union forever, hurrah, boys, hurrah! Down with the traitor, up with the star. Yes, we'll rally round the flag, boys, we'll rally once again, shouting the battle cry of freedom.
Although many businesses were springing up in the Fayette by the end of 1860s, almost everyone in the area was involved in farming. The rich land produced bountiful crops to share with other towns and cities. But how could the produce be shipped quickly and economically? The need for better transportation to and from Fayette was increasing.
We're heading down the road with you to ages long ago. There are people, dates, and places for us to get to know. Growing towns and industries across the U.S.
Incorporated, which we are celebrating here 150 years afterward. By 1900, the number of miles of railroad tracks in operation in the state of Iowa was over 9,000 miles, and the locomotive of the day could travel easily over 100 miles per hour.
Hey, did you know that a person could travel from New York City to Fayette in just a few days by train?
Transportation by train changed America into a country that was on the move. And in 1912, this very building, the Fayette Opera House, became a destination that was included in an important part of American history. Children who rode the orphan train.
Good afternoon, folks, and thank you for joining us here in the Fayette Opera House for this special reception. I am Walter K. Humphrey, a local farmer and, well, an orphan myself. I represent the committee of local businessmen responsible for the preparation and distribution of the orphan children today. As announced yesterday, May 2nd, 1912, in our local paper, the Fayette Reporter, a company of orphan children, under the auspices of the Children's Aid Society of New York City, was to arrive at the train depot south of town this morning, and they have indeed arrived. Applications for the children will be accepted by our local committee under the guidance of the Children's Aid Society's placing agent, Ms. Karla B. Comstock. So let me introduce her to you now. Ms. Comstock.
Thank you, Mr. Humphrey, and I thank you all for coming out today. I am pleased to be here. Fayette, Iowa was chosen as destination by our immigration department because of its high grade of citizenship, its good schools, especially being a college town, and its fertile and prosperous agricultural community. As Mr. Humphrey mentioned, we disembarked this forenoon for our final stop on our trip from New York City, which represents yet another adventure in faith of the Children's Aid Society. I have with me 9 children who I can attest are well-disciplined, coming from various orphanages in the East. They know nothing about street life, but are in need of good Christian homes, as recommended by your committee.
The Children's Aid Society's Placing Out Department asks that all interested parties clearly understand the terms and conditions for all children taken from the Opera House today. They are to be cared for in sickness and in health, to be supplied with adequate clothing, to be sent to school, to attend church and Sunday school, and to be retained as members of the family until the age of 18. Guardians must agree to write to the society at least once a year with updates on the child's well-being. Formal adoption is not required. Children are expected to share the work of the household, but are not regarded as indentured servants. The society reserves the right to remove the child if at any time the circumstances of the home are judged as unsatisfactory by the placing agent. And now our placing agent, Ms. Comstock, will present the orphans.
All right. Come on, children. Now look, pleasant. We will begin with our 3 sisters, Alice, Josephine, and Pearl Edenhart. Go ahead, girls.
Jesus
I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me by still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in